and all of a sudden they see you as a professional.
So the big question is, what are top agents doing to absolutely crush it in real estate, grow their teams and add more transactions year over year while so many struggle? To get the answers, we interview the top real estate agents to learn their secrets to success. My name is Andrew Dunn.
And my name is Peter Michael. Welcome to Lead Agent Secrets.
So something that has been a common theme of this topic here of listings and helping people has been actually your second topic, which I want to roll us into, which is about professionalism and communication, right? So that has just been a big proponent of basically what you've just talked about. It's like setting expectations, talking, communicating, always being professional, going the extra mile for the client. But talk to us specifically why professionalism and communication is your second secret to success.
Yeah. So one of the things I learned when, like I said, when I started investing in myself, and actually even before that, but, when I worked a lot of first time home buyers, the price point back then was 125, 150. A lot of them came to me and said, I'm coming to you because I have another agent, but I feel like I'm not a priority to them. They're busy selling $400,000 or $500,000 houses, and they don't want to show me homes. They don't respond to me. And, that made me, kind of made me feel bad because they deserved good representation. And, that was kind of the market that I went into, especially knowing that first time home buyers were the ones that are also going to turn into sellers in a few years, and then buyers again, and then they were going to refer people. So communication, I tell my clients 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week. You're welcome to call, you can text, you can email me. You can do so outside of those hours, but I'm probably sleeping, So, communication, I always try and be there for my clients. And, again, being a trusted advisor, the communication you give them has to be good and bad, so that they can make good decisions. And it's also about setting their expectations, about what to expect. Now our communication to them in the beginning is going to be, hey, don't get disappointed if you don't get your offer accepted on a first house, because you're probably going to submit several offers before you get one. Just as much as you choose the house, the home kind of has to choose you. And I think professionalism is kind of derived from the proper communication in a sense, because when you're giving people the good and the bad, they're going to realize that you're working in their best interests, not just telling them what they want to hear. And all of a sudden they see you as a professional. And then, I know it's been talked about on your show before, but, I think always dressing the part too. You got to dress for your market. I'm not in Florida, so I don't have the luxury of showing homes in shorts and a t-shirt. I don't know if that happens down there. I know some of the short agents.
I was showing homes in a polo and shorts yesterday because it was 95 degrees. So yes, I'll take the shorts and the t-shirt. Loafers, bro.
Yeah. And I know some of the agents that work down the shore here, it's fantastic. They get to show it, they drive their boat up to the house and show it. I don't have that luxury, with a lot of times with my market though, they don't need me in a suit and tie. If I'm going to a $600,000, $700,000 listing, yeah, I'm going to wear my suit. But a lot of times I'm just like you see me, I'm in a polo and khakis, because I want to be seen as a professional, not, I came from, a game and I just came to show you this house. Now, if I'm working with one of my investors, they're a little bit different. Sometimes I'll show up, in a polo and everything. But, if you're going to a fixer upper that needs a lot of work, you might be dressed a little bit differently. If you're going to go traipse around and, showing land to a developer, you might be dressed, it's really going to be dependent on the client that you're working with and, how you want them to portray you. I know some people say you got to have, nice fancy cars. Again, I think it's dependent on the market. I drive a Jeep and a truck.
I agree. Suits, fancy cars, boats, it's all market. If you're going in Beverly Hills and stuff and you're sending and you turn up in like some beat up car and stuff, it's just not a good message for you being able to sell their $50 million mansion,
Agreed.
It's totally a market thing. And I agree. One of the things I wanted to ask you about actually, when it comes to the communication side, everyone loves to tell people good news. Very few people like to tell people bad news, but it's just a part of the job that we know and love. So when it comes to telling whether it's a seller or a buyer bad news, do you kind of have a bit of a methodology, let's call it, of how you might go about it? Or is it just like, I'll cut straight to the chase? Because I know there is definitely a lot of agents, especially also who listen to the show, might be a bit newer, and just that's kind of a point of anxiety. You know, it's like, shit, I've got to tell people all this bad news all the time, and it's a hurdle they have to repeatedly overcome, which we know it is. So like, is there a strategy that you use to be like, this is just the way it works for me, and like, that's how I do it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really dependent upon who your client is. You know, the more you work with someone, you know the best way that they respond to things. And, you know, I always try and tailor my approach to whoever I'm working with. You know, I know, you know, if I've got a client who's a straight shooter, doesn't want to waste time, you know, extremely busy, you know, I'll just tell them, hey, you know, I got bad news, you know, and then we'll just get right into it. You know, you get a client that might be a bit more sensitive to things, maybe you try and filter in some good news. You know, if you've got a buyer that, you know, and also depending where the bad news is coming from, you can almost take almost that shift the hot potato from your lap to whoever's giving it to you. You know, if it's the
messenger, I'm just a messenger.
yeah, I'm just a messenger. You know, it's like, you know, when everyone's had a home inspection that went terribly wrong, you know, and you know, instead of saying, hey, I have this, you know, it's hey, the buyer had a home inspection. You know, here's the inspection report, and here's the buyer's request. You know, how do we want to handle this? You know, but also I think, you know, especially if sometimes it's very bad news or you know, catastrophic, you know, you also want to also stay calm in the message that you're delivering, because your client's going to see that. You know, part of my job is to handle the stress for my clients, you know, and if they see me stressing or freaking out, they're going to do it too. You know, I remember my one client last year, it was a home in Belmar. Like I said, I sell a lot there. She called me a week and a half before closing crying because they had an above ground pool and it fell apart. All the water emptied out of it. Their kids were in the pool and everything just flowed out of the pool. And she was crying and felt so bad. And I said, okay, well, let's handle this. Let me talk to the buyer side, see what they want to do. You know, and it was one of those things that it was a big deal to her. So you have to have the empathy and understand that. But you also want to stay calm and know the next steps to resolve the situation. And we did, and it was just a small credit, and it was fine. You know, so I think it's really tailoring your approach to whoever your client is.
Oh, and by the way, if you're interested in gaining access to our course and coaching 100% for free, then head over to go.eliteagentsecrets.com.